Manchester United receive massive boost in their pursuit of Monaco's Youssouf Fofana. New bids for Scott McTominay and Christian Eriksen. Rasmus Hojlund is the new number 9. And another injury setback for Tyrell Malacia. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this afternoon's episode. But before we jump into that, please smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6. If you want to keep up to date with all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk, please do get involved. Everyone is welcome. Right, I'm going to start the show off by talking a bit about Malacia then, because I honestly just feel bad for him. I do. So this is coming out from Fabrizio, who is confirming that Malacia is not going on the preseason tour of America. There was a story a couple of days ago saying that he was back on the grass and that he should be back in training in the next couple of days. But apparently he's had another setback and he won't be going on the preseason tour. Now, I'm always backing our players. I always support them, but serious questions have to be asked now. We can't go into next season with Luke Shaw, who's very, very good but injury prone, and Malacia, who we've never really even seen enough of to actually rate how he is as a player, really, have we? We've probably seen him, in 10 games, 20 games? And he's just fallen off the face of the earth. I feel bad for him, I do, but the most important thing is that we have a left-back going into next season. And as a result of this, Manchester United need to accelerate in their pursuit of either Mazraoui, because obviously he can play left-back and right-back, or Ferdi Kadioglu from Fenerbahce. Like, we are desperately crying out for a left-back now. I know Diogo Dalot can play at left-back, but if Wan-Bissaka goes, then who covers there? So I think a full-back, ideally someone who can play on the left-back and the right-back, is now essential, because I just don't have a good feeling for Malacia, you know? And I'm actually genuinely worried about him, because the fact he's been out for a whole year, he didn't do his ACL. No one really knows what was actually wrong with him. He kept coming back and then get injured again, coming back and getting injured again. And he hasn't played football professionally in over a year now, that's not normal. That's not heard of. And we all got really positive a couple of days ago when we heard that he was back on the grass and that he was going to be back in training. And apparently he's had another setback. So I wish him all the best, but obviously we need to prioritise Man United. And what I want to ask you is, bearing in mind the information I've just given you, who should Manchester United sign as the new left-back? Do you like Ferdi Kadioglu? Do you like Mazraoui? Maybe you like Frimpong. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I always like to see what other Man United fans have to say, so make sure you go and get involved. Let's move over to something a bit more positive, and we can confirm that Rasmus Hojlund is the new number 9 for Manchester United, obviously taking the shirt from Martial, who has now left the club. I'm happy for him, I am. There was some talks that apparently Xerxes was going to get it, but Rasmus Hojlund has ended up with the shirt. It's been confirmed by the club that Man United's new number 9 is Rasmus Hojlund. How many goals do you think Hojlund's going to score this season? That's a question I've been meaning to ask you. Like, I want you to let me know. How many goals is he going to get this year? I'm going to go big. I reckon he's going to get 20 this year across all competitions. I'm going to say 15 in the Premier League, and then maybe 5 in the Europa/the FA Cup, etc. So yeah, I reckon he's going to have a good season, especially if, Ahmad's playing, because Ahmad likes to bring other people into the game, whereas Anthony doesn't. Anthony likes to cut in and shoot. So yeah, with Ahmad in that team, I think Hojlund's going to absolutely feast this season. So really excited about that. The next story is about Scott McTominay. This is coming out from Darmish Seth from Sky Sports, and he is reporting in the last couple of minutes that Fulham are set to make a second bid for Scott McTominay. Obviously, Fulham had a bid rejected last week of £17 million. Manchester United are reportedly asking for 30, although apparently they would be willing to negotiate a little bit. The second bid is believed to be somewhere around £25 million and should be going in either today or tomorrow. This was reported by Sky Sports literally in the last 30 minutes. So as soon as we get the exact confirmation on how much that bid is, I'll let you know. But for now, let's talk about how much we think Scott McTominay is worth. I think in the current market, he's got 1 year left of his contract. I think 30 million is a fair price. And obviously with him being a homegrown player, come through the youth academy, that would be 100% profit. So 30 million, sell him to Fulham. I think he would do well there. He would obviously start every single week. Wages won't be a problem. So yeah, let's hope that this one gets over the line, and this will then allow us to go and sign some of our other midfield targets. But moving on from there, but keeping on the topic of midfielders, I want to talk a little bit about Christian Eriksen. So The news this afternoon coming from a guy called Sam C, who gets some really good information around Manchester United. He is reporting today that apparently Ajax are interested in signing Christian Eriksen this season, and United would only let him go if it's a loan with an obligation to buy or a permanent deal. But as it stands at the moment, Ajax are talking to Manchester United over a deal for Christian Eriksen. He's got 1 year left of his contract, 32 years of age. I've said for a very, very long time that I think Eriksen's legs are gone. Ever since he got injured in that League Cup match, do you remember? He was doing really well up to that point, and then he got injured and he was out for like 3 months. And then ever since then, he's just not been the same. I think it wasn't this season, it was the season before, wasn't it? But yeah, I feel bad for him because I do like Christian Eriksen. I was really excited when he signed, but at first was really good, and now I think he's just dropped off massively. So if we can send him over to Ajax with this loan with an obligation to buy, I think it'll be good business for everybody. He's on quite big wages. Obviously, he's 32. So yeah, if we can get this one over the line, I think it'll be a good deal to do. But moving on from that, I want to talk a little bit about Youssouf Fofana, because the news this afternoon is that Manchester United have received a massive boost in their pursuit of Youssouf Fofana. We obviously knew that AC Milan were reportedly leading the race to sign him, but apparently Youssouf Fofana and AC Milan is effectively over. AC Milan are now looking at alternative targets for this summer. I don't know really what happened between the two of them, because the last I heard of it was like a week ago, and apparently AC Milan had agreed an 18 million euros deal, but for some reason it seems to be off. So they're not going ahead with it. So that effectively gives Manchester United a clear run at Youssouf Fofana if that's the player we want to go for. Apparently the price is now 35 million for Man United, which is just laughable. They agreed a deal with AC Milan last week for 18 million euros, Monaco. But now that Manchester United's name's entered into the mix, they want 35. I mean, it's typical, isn't it? And I would be very, very surprised if Ineos pay the 35 million euros they're asking for, because they'll look at the situation and say, he's got 1 year left of his contract. He's handed in a transfer request. He's refusing to sign a new deal. You just accepted 18 million for him with AC Milan. Why would we give you 35? You know, they're a bunch of jokers. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. He is obviously seen as a cheaper alternative for Youssouf Fofana, because even if you pay the 35 million that they want, right, that's still half the asking price of Manuel Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte's asking price is 70. Even Zubimendi's asking price is 60. So even at 35 million euros, which I don't think Man United will end up paying, Youssouf Fofana does represent quite good value for money in the current market, and is seen as an opportunity to get a player below his market value with 1 year left of his contract who would come in and massively improve our team. Only 25 years of age, obviously full France international, and I would be quite open to getting him if it was for a good deal. I think this window, honestly, is all about opportunities. And there are quite a few players on the market that are opportunities. For example, Mazraoui, available for like £10 million. Youssouf Fofana, available for 35 million euros. Obviously, Xerxes was an opportunity because of the release clause. Lenny Yoro was an opportunity. And I think we've got to be very, very clever with the signings we do. And I think to this point we have been. But like deals like Branthwaite was just ridiculous. You know, like £80 million for Branthwaite. That's not an opportunity. That's getting your pants pulled down, realistically, isn't it? So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with this one. But it has been confirmed that Man United have had conversations with Monaco to discuss a deal. So there is genuine interest there. And now that AC Milan are out of the race, it should make the deal slightly more easy to do, and it will make it more cheap. So that's a positive. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on that one as and when we get more news. A little bit of news as well in relation to who's gone on the preseason tour. So obviously, Malacia is not gone because he's injured again. There's no Bruno, there's no Dalot, no Luke Shaw, no Mainu, no Martinez or no Garnacho. So there's quite a few players who are missing. Obviously, they were all involved in the Euros to quite late stages, or the Copa America. So I've got no problem with this. Apparently, Steve McLaren is going to stay in Manchester. He's not going to go on the tour. And then the players will return to Carrington. I think maybe next week, they'll come back and they'll start training. So they are going to be training. They're just getting like an extra week of holiday now, which I think's fair. I have no issue with that. Obviously, Rashford, Sancho, etc. They've all gone. Maguire's gone. So there is a whole team of people who have gone to America. But there is obviously a few people missing. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Let me know in the comments section which left back you think Manchester United should go for. Let me know your thoughts on McTominay and Youssouf Fofana. Thank you very much for joining me. Please make sure to smash a like and subscribe before you leave. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye for now.